Good afternoon. In last class, we discussed about food and wine harmony. We discussed about the what exactly how and pairing with the wine, with the food and pairing with the wine. We discussed and what are the basic rules goes with that. I given a little idea, and also we discussed about the body, what exactly the body or the sweetness or the dryness, and also we discussed into little enter into the topic called the appetizers. What exactly full body dried wine. The soups, why goes with the soup with always a dry fortified wine? Are we going to balance with the sweetness that the sweet with the soup? That always we discuss in this. Now we are going to discuss about this pastas. Next course I'm going into the omelets. So omelets they're very light. So because it's made with just an they're not much flavorful. They already it's the egg which is once it's has own characteristics and it's its own flavorful. So own dominant egg or omelette is very so it's that's the reason you don't see much dishes on omelets or egg variety because it's does not it's all itself it's a very strong, so that's the reason. And also one thing you also should understand, it's made with just an omelette, it's in a just in a not made it's in a white, it's a very one thing I told you, the white meat always go with a white wine. So omelets it's an egg, so always prefer with an white. Why? Because the omelette isn't something which is where it's always go with an the acids always go with a well combination with that egg, that you should understand. So that's the reason the omelets always prefer light bodied. There again you one thing, why as I told you white meat go with the white wine, so omelets then are just egg of that. So there you have to play important role is white wine, one we should understand. And the egg is always very dominated, it's very even you can put a lot of ingredient to that, but it does not give us so much very good strong, you cannot combine or it does not take much of the flavors into that. The always that's the reason the light body the already strong that compare with the light, that too with the white one, that because of the more of acidics goes with that. So that's the reason the omelets preferably the light bodied white wine it's goes very well. That's in the exactly goes with the Alsace Riesling. That's one of the white dry wines where it come from the Alsace. So you can try that. It's very good. It goes with an omelette. Next, and a pasta. Why? One thing you should understand in the pasta. Pasta basically is the light. It's made with an wheat or flour. Here, one thing you should understand: pasta always go with the good as stuffing and go with the good of meats, and also it's very strong flavor with the tomatoes and it's a cheese type of sauces, strong flavorfuls like example pesto. So it's a full flavorful and it's very rich. So because whenever we have into rich kind of the mingling with the non-veg, the right red wine always preferable. That with that meat always go tackle with that, and it always really have a strong flavors as I told you, pesto, creamy, or you can go with the tomato spaghetti, so bolognese. So that you need to understand the sauce always. That's very strong flavors that always with the balance. The strong flavors go with the light bodied, which has a very light bodied less of acidic. Sorry, more of acidic, less of sugar, less of tannin, and let's compare alcohol and goes perfectly goes with the red wine. So because of the meat always joined with, and that's the reason we are going to add the red wine here. That is the reason I repeat, light bodied red wine, because light bodied why we try to before the pastas the sauce is very strong flavorful and the meat always joined with the pasta, so that's the reason we are going to add the red wine in this. So pastas always go with the light bodied red wine. Next, I'm going entering into the white meat or the white, because in the next category, the poison or poultry can be chicken, it can be duck or anything etc. The veal, the pork. Now, one thing you can ask me in this: the veal and the pork are the basically a red meat, and the poison and the poultry is a white meat. So how can you compare with that? But in this pork and veal, it's a very good of acidic in nature. They're very good of very of acids. So that's the reason I want to. This goes with the completely the dry white wine. So complete the match with the dry white wine. One thing I'll give example. The fish always, whenever we eat the fish, we always put the lemon wedge, or we squeeze the lemon juice into that, because the taste, well, that's a lot of acids, lemon. And here the dry white wine also has a more of acidic nature. So there we have a combination. So that's, you should understand the light body, because this the meat which is there, the poultry are very light. The white meat goes always with the white wine, so that is very clear. And light bodied dry wine, because of acidic in nature, so always go with the dry white wine. The dry white wine, light bodied white wine will look perfect, goes with the poison, poultry, the veal, or pork. This is some of the good combination to that. Roast white meat. Next course I'm going to roast, or the rotis. When you go with the roasted, what happened when we roast? When we roast into something earthen flavor, or something rustic flavor, and something where the mud, the flavors of the, like, rustic or the mud kind of the flavors you can see enjoying into the roasted meats. That's what where you enjoy. So there, so it's again, that's flavors will be mingled with a light body. You already have a full flavors in that. When we have a roasted, when you have full roast, you have a very strong flavors in that. That's I want to mingle with a light body. So I'm just balancing the very strong flavors in the roasted. I'm putting a wine into very light bodied here. That you should understand. Second thing, I'm going with the dry white wine. So why? It's always, as I said you, that why again here red wine I'm using, because this roasted, when I use the roast, a lot of tannin in that. When you can see the tannin flavors, something rustic, that goes with the red wine. Then I try to match with the red wine. According to the book, I'm going with the sequence. So you can always, what I'm teaching, you can see the sequence. According to that, you can understand easily. So that's a reason I put the focus to your textbook very clearly into this. So I repeat, roasted white meat, sorry. So what exactly, when I said the roasted, it has a rustic, very strong flavors. That's always going with the light body. And the white meat, which has a very, when we are roast the thing, it will be dried off. Something will be completely dried off. You see the something which is very of tannin, something which is very tannin, and very, that's the reason I'm using of more of the spice, or to balance of two. When you have a little sugar, when you eat a roasted drink, then I have a little of to balance that, to cut off that those flavors. I'll try to give little sugar and little of tannin to go match with that, and more of alcoholic, and more of color into that, into the wine. That's a where you enjoy the complete balancing of the roasted white meat. Now I'm entering into the next one with your roasted game roasted game or the beef. Now here, as I told you, one combination you should understand. Whenever I said red meat, the one point very clear, red meat always go with the red wine. You also see the same combination here, the lamb or the beef. The best example is that the red meat, the red wine. Red meat always go with the red wine. It's very clear in this consent part. Excuse. Now, so in there, what again the roasted, that's again full body. When you have a red wine, it's here roasted with a completely with a full body, and within a beef. Beef is also very strong of a red, and very tannin, and something very hard, and very strong flavors. The beef and lamb, and very tasty, very high content of the juicy, sorry, very high content of flavors in that. So to beat that, we are using the full body, and the full body as a red meat. We try to use a red wine here, so that it always balance red meat, red wines. So there is strong flavors. That's the reason I'm using the full bodied here. That's where you should understand these things. Okay. Again, the lamb. I'm using the lamb where I'm using the red wine. The perfectly goes with the red wine here. So again, when compared to the beef, it's a lamb is very not much very flavorful, but very tasty compared to that. So here I'm trying to balance the taste with a light bodied dried wine. So whereas beef or something very strong flavor, very strong compared to the very strong taste, when it's compared to the more a strong structure compared to the lamb. That's the reason I'm using the full bodied, whereas in this I'm trying to use the light bodied and the with the red one, and compare with the lamb and the beef. Now anything goes with the sweet and the mets, that always go with the sweet wine. As I told you, sweets always go with the desserts, always go with the sweet wine in this. So why? When you eat the sweet, when you balance, I cannot put any tannin or acids or any kind of any other flavor. It does not match with that. So always the sweet, always go with the more sweet. But how we are going to balance in the sweet is when the dessert is more full sweeter, I try to give the wine which is very light sweet. Or when you have a dessert with a light sweet, I try to give the wine is more sweet, so that the flavors are being balanced. That's where the sugar percentage I try to matches, I try to share, I try to compare with that. And Stilton is in a cheese. Stilton is a cheese where always dry fortified wine, because a very Stilton is a blue cheese, very strong flavor, very strong into that. To cut off, I try to give a little bit of sweetness to that. There I try to give a dry fortified wine. So where I try to give the dry fortified. Some of the tips we should understand is we should understand, and the tips is always serve light wine with the serve light within a full bodied, serve young to. And one more thing, uh, uh, one thing you should understand, this food always changes. The food uh, and the wine can be changes because of the taste ways variations will always changes. And this is very very important topic. I've been discussed about each and every course into now. I've been explained from the soups to appetizers and the main course, white meat, red meat, omelette, pastas, and even the desserts. We discuss each and every topic in this. And further, better clarification or better, you can ask me any doubts. You can have your you always have my number, and can go to page number 317. We have a full details about your wine. And thank you. Thanks for your having. Thank you for the class.